Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back to Burning Times Tarot. I'm Jenny. And this video is for the new moon in Aries and kind of early April energies check-in. So I'm going to get into channel messages before I do tarot, but first it's probably going to be kind of a long intro because I've been getting a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to mention. So if you're someone who just wants to get the reading and be on your way, then the timestamps will be in the description box. But let's see, because I don't want to get into, I'll save channel messages for after. So so we've got a lot of big transits happening. I always recommend Molly McCord's YouTube channel for I really love her approach to astrology. She has a really great way of explaining things and explaining them from not just what's actually happening transit-wise, but explaining the energies. She really approaches things from a soul growth perspective and a psychological perspective, which I really appreciate. So, so we have Venus and Mars are going to be, I think in Aquarius, are going to be squaring the north and south nodes, right? And so that is quite significant. And so, yeah, the energy's been very intense. My Mercury and south node are in Aries. So definitely been feeling that shift into Aries season, which has been very good for the most part. But there's always, it's always layered, right? And Taurus sun. So if you are Taurus sun, Libra rising like me, then in our charts, speaking of the north and south nodes, so we have Scorpio in our second house, which is ruled by Taurus, and Taurus in our eighth house, which is ruled by Scorpio, right? So you might be feeling the energies of, even if your north and south nodes aren't in those signs, you will most likely be feeling the energies of this upcoming square quite strongly. And Aquarius, not Aquarius. I know we've got some heavy Saturn energy that is going to be coming in. And of course Saturn is lessons, reality checks. It is an oppositional energy. So yeah, just a few things to consider as we go into Aries season. What else was I going to say that wasn't channel messages? Yeah, well, I know I always talk about, this wasn't it, but I know I always talk about being double Earth, double Venus, but a lot of my chart is fire. And so, yeah, that fire sign kind of energy, it can be really invigorating at times and inspiring, but it can also be quite overwhelming because, fire and passion is great, but fire, it can warm you, but it can also burn you, right? And so I think, yeah, it's just important to temper ourselves a bit, because I know, when I get fired up about something, I can just let it sort of take over, right? And I really feel like there's been so many shifts happening, and a lot of it really is around, and Saturn is also about those big karmic life lessons, those times that require you to really face yourself and really make a decision about, am I going to learn from this and level up, or am I going to stay where I am? Or, energetically speaking, am I gonna, or even potentially backslide, but am I going to, let myself stay stuck in patterns of thought or behavior that don't serve me and potentially even harm me? Or am I going to, am I going to integrate that bit more with my higher self and learn and grow, basically, right? And it's not, I mean, it's a heavy energy for sure, but there is a lightness at the end of that, right? So all that to say, Aries season, there's a lot of lightness though as well that I'm feeling, so I don't want to scare anyone. But yeah, it's, oh, that was the other thing. So yeah, Source has been wanting me to do like a little PSA around some of my thoughts on spell work or witchcraft and just where I stand personally on it. So for me, I don't fuck with hexes or curses. I know some people who do, and I understand some of the reasoning behind it. And I mean, look, when Trump was in office, that was literally the closest I've ever come to like seriously considering hexing someone. And I absolutely understand like the value in that in certain situations, but just for me personally, you know, I genuinely do believe that the energy you put out comes back to you. And so that's why, like, I don't do hexes and curses. I don't do love spells. I mean, if there's like a specific type of love that you want to attract towards you or into your life, you can absolutely do that. But actually trying to direct it at a specific person, like, who the fuck wants, like, who wants someone to love them because they were forced to? Like, that's not love. That's trying to control someone. Like, that's trying to manipulate someone. I mean, even if I'm going to do a healing spell, I ask permission. Like, I ask the person, or especially if it's like for, you know, extended family of friends and stuff like that, where they might have like, you know, all my friends are, you know, if someone wasn't cool with like my beliefs or thought I was going to hell, like I wouldn't fuck with them anyways. But like, you know, they might have extended family or whatever that might not be comfortable with that. So in those cases, like, I light a candle, I say a prayer, I send good energy their way, and that's it. Like, that's the end of it. So anyways, yeah, I think I just wanted to be clear on that, because obviously there's a lot of different schools of thought, and like I said, Source has just been telling me that I needed to clarify that on here. So anyways, that is where I stand with it. Yes, speaking of fire, my Mars is in Leo, so that's lioness energy, that's Sekhmet energy, that's Durga energy. So yeah. And my Lilith is in Cancer, but it's at 13 degrees 13 minutes, right? 13 is divine feminine. So when I first saw that, I was like, oh, so that's where it comes from. Okay. So yeah, I absolutely understand fieriness, and while it can be, that energy can be directed in a really beneficial and positive way when you know how to work with it and channel it properly, right? But when you get triggered, when you start feeling, insecure or unsafe, that's when that energy can really go sideways, can really like end up coming out in ways that are not constructive, that usually end up being harmful to yourself or to others. And even if you don't feel the ramifications of it in the moment, you might not feel it for a long time after, but it comes back, right? You know, people talk about karma. I'm not even gonna get into that. Fuck it. Why am I so jumbled now? So, channel messages. Yeah, last time I mentioned Oh yeah, I got a lav. So hopefully the sound quality is a bit better. And obviously I changed things up a little bit. Some things to mention at the top. Channel messages. So in the last video, I mentioned Albion and Vespers kept coming up, like those words, right? Now Albion has gone, but Vesper remains. For those of you who live in LA, I was in Van Nuys over the weekend. I was not driving. I wasn't the one who was running maps, but we ended up on Vesper Avenue. So yeah, still, still going. Also, I've been getting a lot of messages around Wizard of Oz, so maybe some of you have been watching that or watched it recently. Also, a lot of stuff around Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf, but like as like a role play, like in sex. So if some of you have been doing that, I mean, fucking get yours. Like, but yeah, like that was coming through. That came through like a few times. What else? Yeah, that's another thing. So the whole, like, for those of you who don't know the story of Atlas, right, in Greek mythology, was he a Titan? See, again, things I should have looked up before I hit record. But yeah, was it because he was a Titan that like fought with Saturn and like the older gods? Or yeah, Kronos and Oranos. Anyways, the idea of someone with the world on their shoulders, someone who's like, yeah, literally carrying the whole world on their back and just feeling really weighed down. And of course, it always makes me think of El Mundo in Loteria. And I actually, yeah, that story and that imagery has been coming up a lot. And then just today, a truck passed me with like this image on it. Like it was like a moving company. It was their logo. And I'm noticing the number 37 here, so that could be significant for some of you. And of course, that adds up to 10. 10 is the number of completion of cycles. So for some of you, if you have been feeling this way, you know, maybe part of this whole kind of like Saturn reprogramming that is going to be happening is, or has been happening, is that, you know, whatever like patterns that you've been engaging in, maybe even for your whole life, that have culminated with you feeling this way, those are things that maybe you're really starting to process and work through and really let go of, and really like heal from. So yeah, that could be significant for some of you. And oh, sorry, what else? Hopefully I'm not constantly hitting off this thing. Damn it, I know there was more. Okay, well, it'll come out if it needs to, I'm sure. So for this reading, I'm not going to do the 3-card style that I do for the full moon readings. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a short, because this is for like early April energies as well. So I'm going to do like 3-card spread for love, work, and spirituality. Okay. And then I'm going to draw some oracle cards. I'm going to try and keep it brief. So I'm going to do, yeah, 3 for each. And then I'll just get like 1 or a couple of oracle cards and then a song. Okay. Also, I'm very excited because I got 2 new decks. I have the Millennium Thoth Tarot, which is really lovely, and the Ebon Dulak Tarot, which I have been wanting forever. It's really beautiful. So very excited. I've been using both of them quite a bit. I really resonate with both of them. So I did shuffle before I hit record. I'll probably shuffle again. All right, let's just start, shall we? So, also, I am going to be doing another 18 plus reading soon because A, people enjoy them. B, like I said, it's like taking a mental holiday for me. So yeah, I want to do one too. So, source, can we please get 3 cards message for Burning Times Taurus Soul Family for work and career and money for the new moon in Aries / early April 2022. Thank you, source. Alright, what's going on with this? Three cards. Knight of Swords. Also, this deck has a few differences, but if there are cards that vary from the Rider-Waite-Smith sort of format, I will point that out. Okay. 3 of Cups. Oh, fuck. Okay, well. All right, as usual, she said 3, got 4. We have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Holy shit. Okay, so this is for work. So the first card is the Knight of Swords. And one thing that is different in this deck that I'm not really crazy about, to be honest, is there are no kings. There's a princess, which is the page, a prince, which is the knight, a queen, and then this is called knight. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not crazy about that aspect. But, so Knight of Swords in this deck is basically King of Swords. So, but then being portrayed like a traditional Knight of Swords. Are these swallows? So yeah, horses, you know, there's always tons of bird messages. So horses and swallows might be very significant to you. You may be receiving a lot of messages around them, seeing imagery, seeing them in dreams. But yeah, this is like for a movement. This is, I mean, I'm getting for some of you, you're really, you know, maybe you've been unsure about where you want to go next in your career, or maybe if you're still in school or just graduated and you're really just starting your career, you know, maybe there is a bit of uncertainty, especially with, you know, the way things are at the moment. Yeah, maybe I'm hearing just not really sure, like, where do I go? And for some of you, I'm getting this image of literally like being stopped at a crossroads, like, okay, it's showing me the end of Braveheart, not Braveheart, the end of Thunderheart. Yeah, but just being at a crossroads and not really knowing where to go. And this is forward movement. This is like, right, I see it now. I know what I want. I'm going to go for it. So that's really beautiful energy. And then we have the 3 of Cups, which is, so I'm actually getting like a twofold meaning here, because so 3 of Cups is, you know, friendship, community, celebration. So some of you might be getting a job that you applied for, you know, or getting a promotion you've been gunning for. And for some of you, it might be that maybe you get an interview through a friend or through someone you used to work with, but like this is like a networking. I'm hearing networking, and yet it's still cups, so it's deeper than that, right? But it is receiving some much needed help from friends or family or community, or collaborating. So for some of you, it could just be that, like, if you're working on something at the moment, there might be some new person or new form or style of collaboration that's really helping to ground things and get things moving in a positive direction. And for those of you, you know, with the Knight/King of Swords, you know, I was really hearing like align, you know, for some of you, it's getting to a more aligned place in terms of like what you want to do, or maybe, you know, you've, like me, spent a lot of your life just sort of like doing what helps you like make ends meet, like what helps you to pay the bills, but doesn't necessarily like fulfill you or make you happy. And you know, the Three of Cups can also be about our guides and our ancestors. And so I'm really seeing someone who's taking a more aligned path, who has like a clear vision on what they want to do. And it's more aligned with who you are, with your purpose, your natural gifts and abilities, and Source is applauding, and your guides are helping to make this all come together for you. You know, even if you don't see all the material evidence of that in the short term, rest assured, it's happening, right? And you're going to get little signs and synchronicities about it, so don't ignore them. They are telling you, those are your signs that are telling you you're on the right path, right? Followed by the fucking Ace of Wands, okay? Talk about Mars energy, right? Talk about fire energy, fucking hell. Like, and I always say this is the biggest yes in the tarot, right? And especially on this card, I mean, it's literal fire, right? Because the wands are traditionally shown as just a wand. This thing is literally burning up. Yeah, so strong sun energy, strong Mars energy. And it's really lovely to, oh, okay. So fucking thing stopped recording again. I don't know why it does that. But luckily I wasn't talking to myself for too long before I realized. And I'm gonna really try not to keep hitting off this fucking laugh, but so I was talking, I think where I left off, I was talking about the Ace of Wands. Now the next card is the Ace of Swords, and one of the things I'm really noticing here is like there is so much balanced energy here. It's fucking amazing, right? So because Knight of Swords / King, this is obviously swords are air, and we have the birds here. But with the horse, I mean, the horse is the most kind of physically prominent thing on the card. So I'm getting earth energy from that, and horse is like very like highly spiritually evolved form of earth energy. So if you take that as earth, we literally have earth, water, fire, and air here. So yeah, amazing. And again, Ace of Swords, then following the Ace of Wands, and Ace of Swords is like, it is that clarity, it is that aligned action, it's clear communication with others, with yourself, with spirit. So some of you, like whatever moves that you are making or starting to make in April, they're really, really going to pay off for you. You know, and I don't just mean financially, I just mean in terms of like your overall happiness and growth as a human being. You know, and I love that on this one in particular, you know, you have the sun. I mean, it almost kind of looks like a full moon, but it also is like the rays of the sun. And, you know, east is where the sun rises, and it is symbolic of like knowledge, of clarity, insight, wisdom. And again, I love the balance here, because we do have, even if you took this as the sun, you also have this like moon imagery here with the hilt. So yeah, I'm getting a really lovely balance of energy here. And then inscribed on the sword, we have like Alpha. Well, I mean, I recognize Alpha and Omega. I can't remember what the other ones in between are, but like, again, full circle. Something's coming full circle. There's, you know, so I'm hearing for some of you, it might be that like maybe you wanted to pursue one particular career path when you were younger, and maybe you got diverted off of that path, you know, by circumstance, necessity, whatever it was. But some of you are like maybe starting to go back to, you know, what you wanted to do, and maybe it's not what you do for, you know, your main job or your main like financial main income, but you are, some of you might be like, yeah, going back to something that you always wanted to do, that you always loved to do, something that makes you happy, something that makes you feel like yourself. And so, wow, that's really beautiful. I love it. Love it. I'm going to ask, okay. I'm just going to ask Source, what are some things that you need to know regarding no, I'm gonna save this for one of the other ones. What are some things that you need to know regarding work, career, money for April? So Source, can you please tell the viewers what they... Can you please get 4 more cards? Not so much as clarifiers, but showing what the viewers need to know about each of these energies going into April. So, Knight of Swords / King of Swords. Whew. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. And 3 of Cups, please. Knight of Wands, more fire. To go with the water. Source. And Ace of Wands. Can you please tell the viewers what they need to know about this Ace of Wands? Prince of Swords. Kind of an awkward sized deck, but the cards are beautiful. And can you please tell the viewers what they need to know about this Ace of Swords? Death. Okay, so interesting. So we have a balance again. Pentacles, Wands, Swords, and then, I mean, Death is major arcana, but he's standing at the bottom of the sea. So you literally have earth, fire, air, water again. And I mean, there's a giant sword on here too, so. Wow. Okay. So clarifying the Knight of Swords, with the 5 of Pentacles, okay? 5 of Pentacles, that's an energy that's been coming up a lot lately. It's lack, right? It's being on the outside. So what I'm hearing is that, like, this is the energy that has kept you from gaining this clarity or this forward momentum. And so I really feel like, I mean, I'm going to get into the other cards, but I feel like a lot of this is really Source kind of like just reminding you of the places where you need to stay balanced in April. And just like what energies are going to really help you to get closer to your goals, and what you need to manage. And like balance is definitely a very big theme here. So yeah, not making decisions out of a feeling of lack, right? Or yeah, not panicking and sort of like running for safety if something maybe, you know, yeah, listen to your instincts, but you know, if you have like some sort of setback or are feeling discouraged, like work your way through that. Do your best to not revert back to this way of thinking, because this way of thinking is what has kept you from being clear about this and really like being able to connect enough to know where it is that you want to go. So it's just a reminder, I think, to manage that, because even though it seems like you've really come out of it, you know, we can get triggered sometimes. And again, like when you have like an obstacle or a setback and you're not totally sure how to deal with it, like it can really push you back into that like fear mindset. So Source is just really saying like, you know, do your best to stay balanced. And oh, that was another thing actually, was I've been getting a lot of messages, like Source has really been telling me to tell you, Saz, I forgot. I've really been hearing a lot around solar plexus. Solar plexus and root chakra work, meditations. You know, your root is your survival mechanism. It is your sense of safety. If that is off, everything is going to be off, because you are operating out of like a fear state. You're operating out of a fight or flight state. Nothing balanced comes out of that, right? And I know for me, like I only within the last couple of years, I realized I've basically lived my entire life in fight or flight without knowing it, because I didn't know anything else, right? So if you can relate to that, then definitely work on your root chakra. Solar plexus, you know, your root is here. Solar plexus is like it is your ego, right? Like the ego isn't always a bad thing, but it is your ego in the sense of like your self-belief, really the formation of your consciousness, you know, which is Aries as well. It's the baby of the zodiac. It's the formation of the self. And so, yeah, I've just been really getting a lot of messages around, I think if this is an energy that you kind of have to manage in yourself, which again, I totally understand, definitely work on, you know, and sacral too, like, I mean, you want to work on all of them, but I've definitely been sensing like sacral is working fine. It's the root and the solar plexus that you really need to work on at the moment. Also, yeah, that was the other thing. I talk about meditation a lot on this channel and just in life, but I know for some people it's really difficult for them to meditate, because they have this idea that like meditation just means like sitting down and being super still or laying down. And I totally get that for some people that's not relaxing. It actually makes them anxious. And so Spirit's really been reminding me to stress that meditation can take many different forms. You can do a walking meditation, you can do moving meditation, Tai Chi, or even like working out. I had one of the most intense visions of my life on a fucking treadmill, right? Like when exercising can be very meditative, right? So there's all different kinds of ways to meditate. So if you are someone who has a lot of trouble with like more traditional or like, you know, the more kind of common forms of meditation that we talk about, find something that works for you. Do a moving meditation. You know, there's all sorts of suggestions, but if none of the ones I mentioned are clicking with you, like start Googling, but you will find something that works for you. But this is definitely going to be crucial in April. So clarifying the Three of Cups, we have the Knight of Wands. So again, that is passion, that is fire, that's Mars. It's, and again, so we have another person on a horse. They're both going the same way, right? So this is the clarity, this is the thought and the intellect behind it. What steps, you know, how am I going to go about this? What moves do I need to make? What do I need to get in place? And then this is like the drive, the fire, the passion. And if it is something that is like more creative. It doesn't even have to be, but if it's something that just demands a more creative approach, this is, you know, having the mental flexibility and adaptability to handle that. So again, just, yeah, balance, balance, balance. I like sources just like keep telling them, keep telling them. So clarifying the Ace of Wands or the Prince of Swords. So again, clarifying water, we have fire. Clarifying fire, we have air. And just what I was saying about your guides, you know, applauding you and really like saying, yes, this is the way. Like, that's them. That's them kind of accompanying you and just being like, yeah, get on the fucking chariot and like go. And so, yeah, I mean, and this is clarifying the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is literally Source being like, yes, fucking do it. Like, go now. Like, get it. But this is also Source reminding you, like, don't let that, you know, the fieriness and passion and determination are all like beautiful energies. But it's also saying like, stay balanced. Don't forget to, you know, temper some of that with being realistic, with being practical, you know, approaching things from like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but approaching things from like a more measured stance. That's not the word, but so basically, yes, balance. And I'm also hearing, because fire can also be like, you know, very stubborn, right? I mean, my Mercury is in Aries and I'm a Taurus. So I definitely understand stubbornness. You know, Aries energy with communication is like, I'm getting my fucking point across. I have an opinion and I'm going to tell you all about it. So this is really reminding you though, like, don't, I'm hearing like, don't be so stubborn that you don't allow yourself to adapt, that you end up missing out on opportunities because you're so focused on like, it has to be this way, right? You know, it's striking a balance between being true to, you know, your vision or what it is that you want, but also being open to like, okay, there's an obstacle here, or like this particular avenue that I thought was open is not so open. And so how else am I going to get around this? How else am I going to get to where I need to go, right? And then clarifying the Ace of Swords, we have death. And like I said, they're basically like at the bottom of the sea. We have Scorpio here, you know, which is the death card. We have the sword with the caduceus. We have the DNA, which is also a caduceus. Fuck, like the imagery in these cards is just fucking... And there's some kind of like sea serpent. And sperm. So again, like, because death is regeneration, it's resurrection in some cases. Like, it's literally that, you know, phoenix sort of energy. And I mean, it can be. I mean, with paired, the fact that it's clarifying the Ace of Swords. So again, it's like really getting some clarity. I'm hearing for some of you, it might be that, you know, maybe there's it's not just about realizing maybe like a career path that you felt you got diverted from, or I'm hearing that for some of you, it's really even just realizing some of the natural like talents or abilities that you have that maybe you just like for whatever reason couldn't see in yourself before, couldn't like recognize before. And now you're suddenly realizing, you know, or maybe that you always told yourself you weren't like good enough at. to do it, you know, or to do it in like a public way. And now you're having that realization of like, well, wait a minute, actually, maybe I can do this. And, you know, you don't have to be like the best in the world at it. Like, all that matters is that, you know, you enjoy it, and that will make you good at it, you know, for a lot of things. But yeah, just, there's plenty of people out there that actually aren't the best at what they do, you know, or people that, I feel horrible, like I feel really mean saying this, but you know, you might see someone and feel like, okay, well, it's kind of mediocre, and yet they might still make a very like profitable living from doing whatever it is they do, and more power to them. Like, they are living their best life, they're in alignment with what they love. And just because I don't necessarily, fucking battery, yeah, sorry, I had to plug my phone in, it was gonna die. So yeah, anyways, as I was saying, I mean, who cares about my opinion anyways, right? Like, if someone is able to live their best life and make a living doing something they love, then more power to them. My point though was, sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in this idea of like just focusing on all the people that are like quote unquote better than you at something. But then you might see other people where you're like, well, I do feel like I could do it better than them. And it's not even that the competition aspect necessarily matters. The fact is, they can do it, so why not you, right? Like, what makes you any different than anyone else who is going to be doing this thing? Like, there's nothing, my point is, there's nothing stopping you, right? So, sorry, I'm very tranced out, and the insomnia is still a thing. So yeah, my brain's a little scrambled. Okay, that's fucking beautiful energy. So, I mean, really overall, as I was saying, balance, balance, balance. Like, you are on a good path. You just need to stick with it. Learn how to balance that fire energy and that air energy, and really ground yourself. Okay. So what am I going to do next? Love. We're going to do love next. So I'm going to use Dulac for that one. So Source, can you please give us 3 cards to tell us about this new moon in Aries and early April energies for 2022 for Burning Times Tarot Soul Family around love and relationships. Okay. Oh. The Wheel of Fortune. The Knight of Pentacles. I'll show them again. There's a bit of glare from the sun, I know. Wait, is that Knight or Page? They don't have writing on them, so yeah, no, it's Page of Pentacles. And one more, please. Sorry. And 8 of Pentacles. Lovely. Okay. So for some of you, you're definitely going to be meeting someone new. Or if maybe you're already involved with someone, things are going to might intensify a bit, or you might be reaching like a new level of commitment with them, because, but I mean, I'm definitely getting for a lot of you, this is like going to be new energy, because the first card is the Wheel of Fortune, right? Damn it, just I want you to be able to see it. Yeah, like for some of you, like you're definitely gonna be meeting someone new. It's not gonna be like it's gonna be kind of a slow and steady kind of energy is what I'm getting, because like both 2 out of 3 of these cards are pentacles, right? Which, I mean, pentacles are great because it means like it's something real, it's something grounded, but it's also the slowest moving energy, right? And page is like, you know, it's the beginning stages of something. So, you know, that's why I'm getting, for a lot of you, this is something new. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, like I said, this could just be that whatever this is, it's like starting a new, yeah, you're kind of coming to like a new level within an existing relationship. But yeah, for some of you, I'm really getting that you're really like leaving something behind. You're kind of like something in the past, whether it's a person or relationship, or maybe just like some like hurt or baggage or trauma that you're holding on to from like a previous relationship, or maybe like all your past relationship, you know, like it could be like I said, a pattern, but something that maybe something you've been carrying with you into each new relationship. You're finally letting that go, and that's what's enabling this new energy to come into your life. And you know, again, it's page, it's like very kind of youthful, like that kind of, but I'm getting like, you know, that kind of unsureness, or like maybe a bit of insecurity, you know, the way that teenagers are, like just not feeling totally sure of yourself, but still taking that chance and like making a gesture or reaching out in some way, like whether that's you or this person, but at least one of you, or maybe it's just mutual, right? But that I'm getting this energy of, you know, and I'm seeing the flowers here in the foreground. I think they're roses. Fucking glare. But yeah, it's really the sense of like, I'm just getting this sense of like a new beginning, a fresh start with something, and just really like taking time to get to know each other, and not get like too, you know, too intense too quickly, or like sort of, yeah, overcommitting. It's just a really nice, like steady energy. And then followed by the 8 of Pentacles, you know, which is all about like working on something, building something, crafting something. And so this is, like I said, it's a deepening of this energy, and it's you know, going from page to, well, no, like even though the page is a court card, I'm still getting that this is like a progression, because it's kind of going from being like a novice to an artisan. And yeah, okay, so for some of you, this is a relationship like that is coming into your life. For others, this is more about like an internal pattern. So what I'm really seeing with this is, for some of you, you know, I said, okay, did it again. So yeah, what I'm hearing is that for some of you, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune, I said it's like leaving behind old patterns, old ways of maybe approaching relationships or communicating with people. And with this Eight of Pentacles, it's really some of you really working on those patterns within yourself, so that, you know, when you do meet someone again that you want to be involved with, you are able to take like a different approach and yeah, just like a much healthier, like more integrated approach to relationships, and mainly romantic relationships, but like this really could pertain to any type of relationship. So yeah, I'm gonna get, so they're not exactly clarifiers. Source, will you please tell viewers what they need to know about love and relationships in April with these cards? Can you please tell us about the Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles? Swords, can you please? The Hanged One. And can you please tell us about what do the viewers need to know about the Eight of Pentacles? Knight of Swords. Interesting. Two of the cards that we got in the career reading are now in the love reading, so that's very interesting. Also interesting that we have, this is love and there are no cups. Although this Hanged One is a mermaid, so it's actually from an illustration from The Little Mermaid. Yeah, been still lots of Disney messages. So this is the original Little Mermaid, which is a lot darker than the Disney one. But so I guess you could count that as water. But clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Ace of Swords. So again, like I said, it's clarity around patterns in relationships, or maybe just clarity. So for those of you where like you're meeting someone, this is clarity as far as maybe I'm hearing for some of you like being a better judge of character, or just being a better judge of like what works for you, or like what it is that you want in relationships and what kind of energy you want around you, and just being a lot more discerning with that, and yeah, really being able to pick up on red flags a lot quicker and not gloss over them. And so for a lot of you, I'm seeing like you're, you know, for those of you that are single but maybe would like to, you know, be in a relationship or want to meet someone, you're really making space energetically, like you're really making space for someone that is better suited, someone healthier, that is more aligned with like who you are or who you're becoming. And just, yeah, much, sorry, I'm getting very tranced out. I'm losing my articulation, but yeah, it's just really, oh, fuck. Yeah, fuck. Okay. Yeah, much better discernment about what suits you, what you know, what you need, what you want in a relationship, in a partner, and really being much better at seeing like who is actually going to fulfill that for you, rather than, you know, maybe meeting someone and liking them and then superimposing a lot of stuff on them that maybe isn't there. But I'm also noticing like in this particular deck, I mean, we have like this sort of Valkyrie looking figure, and reminds me of the Fates in Greek mythology. And of course it's, you know, clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So for some of you, And that's 10 and that's 1 and it's 11. So for some of you, like you have someone that is going to be coming into your life that like you are meant to meet. And I mean, that message keeps coming through and it's still here. Clarifying the Page of Pentacles, we have the Hanged One. And, you know, again, it's the Little Mermaid, so it is water energy. It's this deep intuition and unconscious energy. And of course, the Hanged One is all about like having a different perspective and seeing things in a different way. So, and coupled with the Ace of Swords, I mean, talk about clarity. So this really is like being clearer on what you want in relationships, how to operate in relationships. Yeah, and I'm getting a balance because we have air and water here. So like a balance between the emotions and the intellect, right? Because maybe for some of you, you have been picking partners based on your intellect. And like, okay, well, this person, they tick this, and this box, and they look really good on paper, and this is what I'm supposed to want. And so, yeah, check, you know. Love doesn't work that way, right? So I'm hearing for some of you, it's about connecting more with your emotions, with your intuition, and really starting to maybe realize that like you want to be with someone that you resonate with on a soul level, not just someone that like ticks the boxes on your little like mental form, right? And so really like learning how to approach relationships from a more heart-based, like more emotional perspective. But then also like the other side of the coin of that is also approaching relationships where, you know, nothing can like make you feel as vulnerable as, you know, being in a relationship with someone and like really showing them who you are, really like letting yourself be vulnerable, expose like your insecurities or your weaknesses to another person. Like that can be terrifying, right? But I'm hearing it's and so because of that, you know, if you still have, sorry, if you still have triggers that you are trying to work through, or hopefully are trying to work through, but if you know that you still have certain triggers, right? And they might be ones that are like still very fresh, like very sensitive, that can really make you like come out of character at times, or just really like push you into that space where you're just all emotion, right? And you're not thinking logically, you're not thinking clearly. Then this is really saying like that is something that you're starting to bring into balance. And if you're not, then you really need to be. But I'm really getting that for most of you, it's that you are, and that's what's led to this like Hanged One energy, is that you're really realizing the places where you have been maybe operating out of those triggers. Like I said, that root chakra, like that thing gets activated and like all hell might break loose, right? Because when we feel trapped, when we feel anxious, when we feel cornered, you lash out, right? So this is really like learning not how to be more balanced, more grounded, because this is clarifying pentacles, right? So it's that more grounded, stable energy. And then clarifying the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Knight of Swords. And again, this Knight of Swords has this death-like figure over them. So very similar to the work pile in that respect. And so yeah, and that coupled with the Eight of Pentacles, so it's all about like transforming how you are in relationships, the amount of work you put into relationships. So if you are someone who's very avoidant and maybe doesn't put a ton of like effort into your relationships, or doesn't make a lot of effort to like connect emotionally, or you know, maybe quality time is just not like a love language you understand. I'm hearing that, you know, this is really reevaluating some of those things for you. And then conversely, for those of you who maybe feel like you give too much, you just, you know, when you love someone, when you're with someone, you just sort of like make them your world, and then you don't have anything left for yourself. And I can relate to that. Like, that's something that I've been healing for sure. So this is really about, like, again, just balance. And yeah, just really having a lot more clarity and understanding of your own role in your past or present relationship dynamics, and how I'm hearing like how we write our own scripts. Oh my God, I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, I'm hearing just like those places where we end up, you know, we end up creating like a self-fulfilling prophecy in our relationships. And I'm hearing for some people say, you know, one thing that can be very common is like, you know, you go into relationships with this idea that like, you know, well, and regardless of who you date or what your orientation is or whatever, but like, oh, well, all men are this way, all women are that way, all like bis are this way, what, you know, whatever it is, like, all non-binary people are this way. It's those places where, because we are going into things with this predetermined script in our heads, we are basically manifesting that into our reality. Those are the people we attract. Those are the people we end up unconsciously surrounding ourselves with. And that is what just ends up reinforcing that idea and that same dynamic that you never wanted to be in to begin with, right? So that's Taurus has a lot to say about this. So yeah, again, I mean, just like with where, I mean, that's really good. Obviously, this is the overarching theme of April, is like balance, learning how to ground, how to balance, and really taking a new approach, a healthier approach, a more aligned approach to relationships. Okay, we're going to move on to spirituality. And then I'm going to pull some oracles and get music. What time is it even? I don't know. Okay, Source, can we please get 3 cards to tell us about spirituality for this Aries new moon in early April season 2022? Source and guides of all of Burning Times Tarot Soul Family, can you please give us 3 cards to let us know about our spiritual growth in April 2022? 10 of Swords. Ten of Cups. And we're getting 4 again. Dude. It's the Ace of Swords and Death. All right. Okay. So, start with, like, this is fucking gorgeous. Start with, we have the 10 of Swords, okay? 10 of Swords, yes, is betrayal. It is ego death. It's also release, right? it's the end of a cycle. And then we have that followed by the 10 of Cups, which is fulfillment, which is balance, love, it's fulfillment. I'm getting so much energy off this card. It's like sucking me in. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which is clarity again, and then death. So again, there's a lot of balance here, and it's all air and water. It's all air and water. So again, logic and emotion. It's balancing logic and emotion. So I'm getting that for a lot of you, like you have been going through a dark night of the soul. You have really been like seeing some places in your life where you have been operating out of a very skewed perspective. And you know, and operating out of that because of like traumas and hurts and like things that you've had to experience in your life. And I mean, we all do that to a certain extent, but I'm getting that a lot of you are really like, have really had quite an awakening about that. And there's a lot of things that you're just seeing from like a completely new perspective. And what's really lovely is that we have the scales here. And so again, it's balanced because yes, we have the broken heart, and the broken, you know, the broken sword, but I mean, Gemini here, if that's significant for some of you, but you know, Gemini and Libra, and obviously, I mean, Aquarius, like off in the ether. But yeah, there's just this real like insight and balance coming out of this, even though it might be very painful in the short term, but you know, so yeah, for some of you, like you're really doing shadow work, but like, yes, it's work. Like it's called work for a reason. It's fucking hard, right? But coming out of that, like you're getting this whole new sense of not just clarity, and not just like a renewed perspective, but happiness, right? A sense of like a much bigger sense of like calm and serenity and safety, because you're seeing the ways that you've been operating out of this like, you know, very hurt or like heartbroken energy, and releasing that and finally like really being able to like integrate it where you need to and release it. And this is going to bring you into like this whole new level of happiness and abundance. Because I mean, the Ace of Cups is one of the most beautiful energies in tarot to me. And we have Mars energy up here and we have Pisces here. So again, fire and water, it's balanced. I mean, we have this very fiery energy on this card, and yet it's cups. And so, and we have the flower at the top. So it really is a sense of like renewal and a rebirth, and like a level of, I'm hearing like a level of interconnectedness, like within the self that you maybe have never felt before. And then followed by the Ace of Swords. So again, it's that you know, there's this clarity of emotion, and like this huge, like, you know, for some of you, it might be that, you know, you're used to living your, like, 3 of these have swords on them. So it's like, and there's this fieriness. And so it's like, yeah, you know, we have like the fire here, and we have like air and water here. And so, yeah, really, balancing that fieriness and that, like, more defensive, like stubborn sort of, you know, that need to always be on guard and always, like, you know, because that, and again, that's when your root chakra is out of whack. It's, you're operating out of that space of, you know, I almost like paranoia, or just that sense of like, I always have to be on guard. I always have to defend myself because there's always going to be people trying to hurt me. There's always going to be something like coming at me that's trying to harm me in some way. And that's not to say that that's never going to happen, but when you're always on guard, A, it's exhausting, and B, like, you're basically, you're protecting yourself from things that maybe you actually want in your life, and you're blocking them off because you can't see what's actually in front of you. So this Ace of Swords is that clarity, that logic of like, okay, how much of this is me projecting my shit, and how much of it is like, how much of this is actually what's happening, right? Because like, we're all filters, right? None of us is totally objective. We're all coming at things with our own perspective, our own experiences, our own emotional reactions and triggers. And so, but to me, this is really, again, it's like just a whole new level of insight around like, what is yours, like what's yours, what's coming from you, and what is coming from your environment or the people around you. And then we have death. And again, like air and water energy. So logic and emotion. And this is, I mean, this is about spirituality. So fucking hell, like that is powerful energy. And Scorpio, and I was just saying, we've got the north and south nodes, the square happening, and the Saturn, like the big life lessons. And this is fucking Saturn energy. I mean, for sure. And so, yeah, this is just like this is an ego death. This is a rebirth. This is like Phoenix energy. And I'm hearing for some of you, you know, there's this DNA strand here. And so for some of you, this is really healing, you know, because obviously for a lot of the times, this stuff has its roots in our childhood. It has its roots in our family history, our family cycles. And so for some of you, you're not just healing those things in you that you've been carrying since childhood, or the things that have like impacted you since childhood, but some of you are actually healing, like, and again, this came up in the last reading, some of you are healing ancestral trauma. You know, and again, for those of you who are skeptical about that, Google epigenetic inheritance trauma. These things get passed down in our DNA. They can mutate our DNA. It is our physical bodies, like literally responding to the energy that we are surrounded by and by our experiences. So yeah, I mean, this is like really profound healing. Source, can you please tell the viewers what they need to know about these energies going into April in regards to their spiritual growth? So, 10 of Swords, please. Queen of Cups. Balance, air and water. 10 of Cups, please. Swords. 3 of Swords. Water and air. Again. And Ace of Swords, please. The Empress. Beautiful. So now we've got some earth in here, but she's sitting on water holding a lotus. And Death, please, Taurus. The Universe, which is the World card. Fucking hell. This is powerful. Wow. Okay, so clarifying the Ten of Swords, we have the Queen of Cups. And like I said, there's no king in this deck. So the Queen is the, I mean, to me, Queen and King energies in traditional tarot or are equal. But this is truly aligning with your, getting more in touch with your emotions, aligning with your deeper intuition, really, and it's deep healing. It's deep healing of these wounds, like these wounds that you've been carrying since childhood, these things that have been unconsciously, because literally, that was the other thing, god damn it. That was the other thing, subliminals. I'll get into that another time. But 95% of our, like, the processes that go on in our brain are unconscious, right? We place such a high premium on the conscious aspects of our brain, which, yes, are very important. Okay, so I'm in a dance troupe and I had to do a Zoom rehearsal, so I'm back. So that just totally, like, interrupted my flow, but okay, this, I mean, holy shit. And then I'm like trying to rehearse and I'm staring at the cards and I'm like starting to zone out, and then I'm like, wait, what do we, okay, so we have, yeah, I'm still getting used to having a lab, so I'm sorry, I'm probably hitting off it and my fucking hair is like hitting off it and stuff. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords and the Queen of Cups. So again, fire and water, this is balance, this is healing. This is, you know, Ten of Swords is heartbreak, betrayal, it's, you know, trust issues. And then here we have like this Queen of Cups, these lotus flowers. So again, that like, that theme of like rebirth. I love this deck. I was only planning on getting one, but like, this just kind of started to suck me in. Yeah, this is like intense, like deep healing. And so then, right, Ten of Cups clarified, or not clarified, but whatever, with the Three of Swords. So again, this is, Three of Swords is literally a broken heart, right? And so this is getting a new perspective. This is really like healing a lot of very old wounds. And we have Libra energy again, so it's balance. And that is, yeah, fuck, we have Libra. Okay, we have Libra, 1, 2, and 3 of these cards. Like Empress is Libra and Taurus. It's Venus energy, right? Okay, we don't have Libra here. Okay, so we have, no, 1, 2, 3, yeah. So balance, you know, the main Libra card in tarot is Justice. So, which again is about balance. It's really balancing things internally. Three of Swords can be about like a conversation as well. So it could be that like there's issues that you need to resolve with some of the people in your life. Maybe, again, places where like you have been holding on to old scripts that maybe you're realizing were skewed or that don't apply anymore. And so I'm seeing like for some of you, this is really about like healing with, some of the people that are in your life and some of your relationships that maybe, you know, and for some of it, it's not that your perspective is off. It's just that maybe, you you're taking a new approach, and you're really like learning how to just process certain things in like a more balanced way. And again, like that, you know, emotion and logic working together. And then we have the Ace of Swords clarified by the Empress. So again, so we have air and earth energy. Of course, the Empress is Libra and Taurus, which is Venus energy. Excuse me. And Venus energy is unconditional love. And I'm really hearing for a lot of you, it's unconditional love of the self. And that's really what is like setting you free. And here she's holding a lotus. Again. And we have like the bird and the water imagery. And it's just really, you know, and this is like very marshy, right? Which can denote like a sense of like muddiness, or, you know, this kind of swampiness where things are maybe didn't seem clear in the past, or like you would just get, you know, caught up in like overanalyzing and rumination and all that. And then this is like this clarity that's like cutting through a lot of that and really starting to come into like a more harmony within, which is beautiful. And then followed up by, I mean, for fuck's sake, we have death and the universe, which again is the world card. And so, and not only do we have the snake, which is also rebirth energy, right? So we've got like some big Scorpio energy here, which again, so we have Taurus, we have Venus, we have Taurus and Scorpio here as well. So again, that north node, south node, right? Because north node is considered, so like they're also called the nodes of fate or the nodes of destiny. Your north node, right? Like for me, my north node is Libra, my south node is Aries, right? Your south node is kind of like what you're already, I guess, like what you already have sort of like inborn, right? Or like certain experiences that you're bringing with you, either ancestrally or from like your very early childhood. Your north node is like where you are like moving towards, or like an energy that you're progressing towards, right? And so, I mean, here on the universe card, so we have the fixed signs, right? So again, Scorpio, which is represented by the eagle. We have Aquarius, which is represented by a person, Leo, and Taurus. So, and yeah. So again, Taurus and Scorpio. So this is literally balance. It's, you know, what are like the good things? What are like the good qualities that I have that I want to, build up, that I want to work on? But also, like, what are the things that I need to heal? What are the things that I want to, like, start moving out of? What are the things that are no longer aligned with me, that aren't healthy for me? Where do I want to move towards? What's, like, a place where I will be happier and more fulfilled and have, like, deeper, healthier relationships, right? Holy shit. Okay, wow. That's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do some oracles. Okay. All right, well, obviously Moonology, because this is a moon reading. So I'll start there. Source, can we please get one card for this Aries new moon, birth history, soul family, April of 2022. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So the next full moon we're having is in Libra, I believe. So again, like some of this work that you're doing now might really start to like come to fruition in Gemini season, which is like late May to, was it May 20th to June 20th? or it could be around the next full moon, which is in Libra, which is in a couple weeks. But yeah, for those of you, and I mean, there's like so many Ace of Swords, there's so much about clarity. So for those of you who are like, well, I'm not fucking feeling very clear yet, like the answers are coming, things are starting to align, and you are going to start to see a shift in your perspective. So I'm going to get a Starseed Oracle, and then we're going to do a song, and then that's going to be that, because I don't even know how fucking long this video is at this point. Okay. Source, can we please get one card for Bird times Taurus Soul Family, Aries, Moon, early April 2022. Oh, we got 2. Oh, we got 3. Okay. All right, well, the first one is the void, stop, embrace winter, great cosmic wound. So again, rebirth, death and rebirth. So for those of you where, again, like you haven't seen any of this yet, you just know you're in the shit, right? Sometimes you just have to sit in it, right? You have to be uncomfortable for a while. You have to feel like shit for a while. You have to just process it. Don't try to block it out. It's just going to make it worse and more drawn out. Let it move through you. Just feel it, purge it, let it go. It's not that it's never going to come up again, but hopefully, like if you really let yourself feel it and process it, then the next time it does come up, it's not going to hurt as bad. It's not going to take as long to recover from, and you will be better able to separate yourself from your thoughts. Because sometimes, you know, the brain's always going. Not every thought needs to be latched onto. Sometimes you have a thought and you just kind of go, yeah, okay, and you let it go, right? And you just sort of like let it pass you by and don't get stuck in it. And oh my God. Okay. So then the next one is water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. So again, for those of you who are going through it right now, take care of yourselves, get sleep. It's basic shit, right? But it's so easy to forget when you're super like consumed with something. But this is just like, get sleep, drink enough water, eat some healthy food, do so, you know, treat yourself to something, but like just take care of yourself. Like I always say, you know, I mean, what did shamans do when they wanted to have a vision? The first thing you do is you deprive yourself of sleep and you don't eat, right? Those two things, when you deprive yourself of that, you will be insane within like a matter of hours or days, whatever. Like it is the quickest way to drive someone over the edge, right? And that's why they did it. If you're not looking to have a shamanic experience, like there's plenty of like funner ways to do it, first of all. Secondly, if you're like, no, I've had enough insight for now, I just want to have a good night's sleep. Get a good night's sleep. Like whatever it is, just take care of yourself. It is going to pay off for you. And then all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. So again, like you're on the right track. If you really are working on healing some of these things, if you're really, you know, working to have like that greater level of insight and understanding and self-knowledge, like, so I mean, we're going from the void to all paths lead home. So again, just like I said, it is that rebirth energy. It's that, God damn it, it is that snake energy. It is transformation. So don't let anyone knock you off of this path. Don't let anyone discourage you from looking within and really like figuring out where you stand on things, how you feel about things, how you perceive things. you know, that's for you to figure out for yourself. That's for you, like, yes, like allow people to help you if you want that, but really, you know, don't put someone else's voice or perspective over your own. Only you truly know your own soul and what's right for you. Okay, we're gonna get sung, and then that will be it for this one. Okay. Yeah, we'll get one because it's a new moon. Source, can we please get a song for Burning Times Taurus? They keep coming up a lot. So it's Fool for You by Ike and Tina Turner. I think we have one of their songs. I think it was in last week's Pick a Card. But I mean, this is Three of Swords energy. So again, it's really like, I'm hearing for a lot of you, like this does a big part of this, not all of it, like some of it is just your relationships in general, meaning like your, you know, with family, with friends, with colleagues, just how you relate to the world in general. But a lot of this is also like to do with romantic relationships and their impact on your life. What has led you to like pick the partners that you have? How is it that you show up in relationships? How do you, like, what do you bring from them? What do you get out of them? And just really reevaluating, reevaluating past and or current relationships, and really figuring out like what you want in a relationship going forward. And again, like, so yes, romantic, but also just in general, like what types of relationships, what kind of energy do I want around me? What gives me, like, what boosts me up? What makes me feel good? And what makes me feel unsafe? What makes me feel held back or dragged down or low or unworthy? Like, and really, really maybe figuring out a lot of those things I'm hearing for the first time, whereas maybe, again, like so much of our thinking is born out of like so many unconscious like patterns and processes. And so just really becoming like a lot more mindful and aware of those and where they may have been, influencing you to a degree that you had like absolutely no awareness of, and I mean, I think, and a lot of us have been there or have done that and continue to do that because, like I said, most of our brain function is unconscious. So it's not that that's going to change, but it's more just the, like I said, the approach and the mindfulness. So fucking hell. Okay. Yeah. Good luck. I really hope this resonated with you. If you are going through this, my heart is with you. I know how difficult and painful it can be, but you will come out the other side of it stronger, wiser, and happier. Okay. And so, yes, please do feel free to drop a comment. Of course, you can book me for a personal reading if you'd like more specific information for your situation. You can email me, burningtimestarot@gmail.com, or you can DM me through Instagram or Facebook. If you did enjoy, please do hit like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I post new videos. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Spotify. I do have some more playlists coming, I promise. And yeah, take care, and I will see you next time.